Welcome to another Affinity Photo tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to create a hologram or holographic image. This is what we'll be creating right here. So let's go ahead and get started. What we'll do is we'll just get rid of all this stuff, prepare our image that we're going to use as the hologram. So let's go ahead and open. I've got this PNG image of this woman in this real colorful dress. So this is what we're going to use to create our hologram. So the first thing we're going to do is duplicate our image, Command J, and then for the time being, let's go ahead and hide this bottom layer here, and we'll start working on this one. So what we need to do is we need to create scan lines, make it look like it's being projected on something. There's a bunch of different ways to do this. Applying a mask would be the following. Let's add in a blank pixel layer, and let's change our foreground color to like a middle gray, and we'll go ahead and flood fill that. Now on that layer, let's come down to our live filters, and let's come all the way down to halftone. So we're going to apply a halftone effect to this, and we want this to be very sharp. So we're going to change it from cosine to round, and then here in the screen, we're going to change it to line. And we're going to bring our cell size down quite a bit. Let's just say 15. That looks good. So we'll rasterize and trim this layer. And so now what we want to do is we want to select the dark portions of this, because this is what's going to create our scan lines. So we're going to come to select, and on this we're going to select a tonal range. Let's go ahead and select the shadows. And you can see that's selected all the black. Let's highlight the layer with our girl on it, and we're just going to add in a layer mask. And what that's going to do is it's going to apply a layer mask and put those dark colors in the mask. So if we deselect this now and turn off that halftone layer that we created, we can see that we've got her with these scan lines going through her. So now what we can do is let's go ahead and take that layer with the scan lines. We're going to duplicate that twice. So Command J and Command J. And on the middle layer, let's go ahead and add motion blur to that. Make sure the rotation angle is 0, so it's going left to right. And we'll bring the radius up on that one to about 50 pixels, let's say. Right about there. And then what we'll do is we'll do the same thing to the bottommost layer. We'll add a motion blur on that as well. This time we're going to take it all the way up to 100, like that. All right, so we've got our scan lines working that way. So now what we need to do is they're kind of pretty straight, and we want to add a little bit of distortion to this. So the way we're going to do it, we could do it with a filter up here, but I'd like to apply a displacement filter to it, but it needs an image to work from. So let's hide what we've got here for right now, and we'll turn on this one that we haven't used yet. To do this, we're going to turn it into a kind of a grayscale image. So let's come down here and select black and white. We don't need quite that much contrast in there, so let's bring the red channel down just a little bit so it's a little softer looking, like that. And make sure that's on that layer, and we're going to rasterize and trim that. And then also we don't want all these really sharp lines because that's going to hurt the displacement as well. So let's go ahead and give this a Gaussian blur. It doesn't have to be too much, just kind of knock the edge off like that. Let's say 2 pixels. And again, one more time, we're going to rasterize and trim this. And now we need to save this. So we're going to copy it, and we'll come up to File, and we're going to go New from Clipboard. So all we're doing is we're going to take this image now and we're going to save it out as a PNG. So we'll go File, Export, make sure it's selected as a PNG so it has a transparent background, and then we'll just go ahead and export it, and we'll export it into our hologram folder that we have here. We'll just call it Displacement or Displace. Save that. So let's come back to our image that we were working on here, and we're going to turn on our uppermost level there. Actually, we'll turn all 3 of them on. But we'll take the topmost layer here and we'll come down to the adjustments or live filters. I'm sorry, we're going to come down here to displace. And so we can choose to load a map from a file. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to pick our displace image that we just created. And you can see right away it's set to 10 pixels as a default, and it's really chopping it up. We don't want quite that much. Let's go down to maybe 4 pixels. Okay, that's not looking too bad. And now to fill in some of these gaps in here, let's go ahead and select our middle layer, and we'll just nudge it up a couple of pixels. And we'll take this bottom and we'll nudge it down a couple of pixels. Let's get rid of our halftone layer, and let's just go ahead and group these together. And finally, we'll just rasterize and trim those. And then we're going to copy this layer from this image, And we're going to go back to our very first image that we had with the gentleman in it. And so we're just going to paste it here, Command V. We can resize her, put her right there on the phone where we want her. You know what, we're going to get and give her a recolor effect. Make sure that it's just being applied to her. Holograms are usually like a blue. Well, everyone I've seen in a movie looks blue. That's looking pretty good right there. Okay, so she's looking pretty sharp still. So we're going to rasterize and trim that layer, and we're going to duplicate it, Command J. Let's take this topmost one, and we'll make the blend option screen. And let's take that bottom one, and let's make the blend option overlay on that. That's looking pretty good right there. And then I think the last thing we may want to do is come up to the screen layer here, and we'll come down to layer effects. Let's add in an outer glow. Bring that up a little bit there. You can leave it white the way it is. And so there you go. You've got a pretty easy to create hologram image. You can use pretty much anything. The displacement map is just an extra choice if you want to add it in. If it's a big enough hologram, you will notice it. Like in this one, if we zoom in, we can see a little bit of displacement there. But if it's a real small one, you probably wouldn't need it. Anyway, if you liked the video, please give me a like or think about subscribing to the channel. And until next time, peace. Talk to you later. Bye.